So today we discuss construction of ray diagram for a lens. Okay. So continuation of previous class, construction construction of a ray diagram for a lens. Of ray diagram for lens. Okay. Previous class we discussed a type of images, real image and virtual image. Okay, and basic principle and laws of the construction of ray diagram. Okay, actually construction of image diagram. Okay, the basic three principle, basic three rules actually. The drawing of image, and now we start. Okay, originally, so the construction of a ray diagram for a lens. Okay, so first take a convex lens. Okay, the step by step. First we take a convex lens. It look like a fish. Okay, actually, but not obviously there is not a fish. Okay, convex lens. Okay, and we know that that is a optical center and that is a focus. But the principal focus, these also the principal focus, and this length from principal focus to optical center is called focal length, and similar these are the focal length, optical center to principal focus. Okay, the marking dash, and dash is if I draw the same length is twice the focal length, we get f2 second focus, twice the focal length, and that is FL, and I get second focus F2 in both sides. Now you place an object in anywhere between these two. Okay, suppose I place an object like here, any type of shape. Object is some person A standing here, and you know that uh, the second focus F2 is another name. It's called center of curvature. The center of curvature. Okay, and the radius of curvature ROC, that length, radius of curvature, that is equal to twice of focal length. We know that. Okay, from class 9 physics we know that. Okay, so that is a person A, that is an object standing between say C and A, center of curvature and first focus, principal focus. Now we draw from head, that is A and that is B, top, and B is the leg point of the object, and the incident ray, first incident ray from head, that is a parallel, this ray parallel to principal axis and fall on a convex lens, and after refraction, this incident ray turned into refracted ray passes through the focus. There is a first rule of drawing an object image. Okay, passes through the focus. Okay, and that is a head point, and we need another point from A. If I incident ray here is passes through the optical center. Okay, let's see that. If the passes through the optical center, the incident ray, so that midpoint here, that is second approximation of a rule. Okay, if a incident parallel to principal axis, the passes through the refracted ray passes through the principal focus. If a incident ray falls on an optical center, so they do not deviate, they following a straight path. Okay, and number 3, if incident ray passes through that focus, it consider that is a focus. Okay, yeah. consider passes to the focus. On rule number 3, if incident ray passes to the focus, then refracted ray parallel to the principal axis. This is not a parallel line. This is parallel to the principal axis. Actually, not parallel, but actually the parallel, because the drawing is little bit complicated to drawing in a freehand drawing. Okay, if these two lines are parallel, okay, there's a refracted ray parallel to the principal axis. And if you see the very carefully, the head of the object A, the three ray from A or head of the object after refracted, they meet a here. So we can say that that is the top of the object, okay, means a point. And if a B, similar case, if B incident ray from B passes to the optical center is a parallel to principal axis and passes to the optical center, this ray, they do not deviate. Simple. If you fall on a incident fall on a optical center, so actually if you fall on a optical center, so they follow a straight path. So do not deviate actually. Similarly, that ray is do not deviate. So passes through that. Okay. So we get this object A. Actually, the head now down. This object here, and that is two hand, and here is a legs and place between. Okay, that is a B. So here we get the inverted image. Okay, so that's the basic step for drawing a image. Basic steps for drawing a image. Okay, and I put a tips. Okay, secret tips. That the secret tips is, please follow, know the chart. Okay, there is a chart in a concept book or any book. They given a chart. Okay, please follow the chart or remember the chart. If you try to draw this type, okay, if I draw a freehand drawing, there is a error. Okay, and now let's come on. This is the error. What type of error is? If your object place, consider the error is if object. If your freehand drawing error, actually freehand drawing error. If your object place C and A, between C and F, center of curvature and principal focus, so we see that the image create on a second focus. Okay, that is the error. Okay, that is the important error. Okay, so actually it's not that. Okay. The object is placed in object is placed between C and F or F2 and F1. So object is placed actually beyond 2F2 means actually object placed here. Actually object placed here, but in our the eye and hand error actually the approximation error actually, because this line is not a straight line, dashed length is not a perfect length, there is freehand error. Okay, so I tell, please remember the chart. Okay, the position and image chart and convex lens or similar concave lens. If you know the chart and if you know that where the object is and place and where the image is placed, then you draw first place the image and then sorry object, then place image, then we join this ray diagram. Okay. Yeah. So similar condition, we first know the table, draw the table actually, because very important. Without table and you are drawing free and drawing, there is a huge number of error, because this line is not a straight line. This mirror actually this image is lens. Sorry, this lens is not a perfectly shape actually. That's actually a approximation drawing. Okay. So what is the table? Table. Sorry, table. Okay. Table. Image in a convex lens. Image in a convex lens. Just remember those two things. Okay, position of the object and position of the image. Position of the object, easy. Okay, position of object and position of image. Okay, okay. If the object plays at infinity, if object at infinity plays at infinite distance, a long distance actually. Okay, then the position of the image is at, okay, f2 or c. Next, if a object placed beyond 2f1, means actually f2, object beyond f2 or 2f1, this double of f1 is 2f1, so the image is very important between f2 and f1. Number 3, at f2, if object placed at f2, so image similar at f2. Number 4, okay, if between f1 and between f2 and f1, so the image here beyond f2. Number 5, at f1, so create an f1, so that is infinite. And number 6, between f1 and optical center O, so image is same side behind the object, behind the object. Okay, please remember the chart. Okay, and then draw a diagram actually, then analyze the diagram. So first, if your object plays at infinite, okay, let's see a convex lens, principal axis, optical center, f1, and that is f2, or call f2, and f2 equal to twice of f1, means c also. Similarly, that is a f1, that is f2. Okay, now first concept is object placed at infinite distance. So here some long and huge distance, here there is an object, and the object of some person standing here, A, B. If you know that if a incident ray parallel to principal axis, if incident ray parallel to principal axis, then refracted ray passes through the f1. Okay, and we need another midpoint here, because otherwise we cannot distinguish between which point that head A is lies. Okay, so need another point, an intersection point. So that's why we draw another if we choose another, if okay, if that is a consider that is a straight line, okay, that straight line and incident ray passes through the f1 and fall, and we know that if a incident ray passes through the f1 and refracted ray parallel to principal axis, now principal axis, and if you see that very carefully, the head A, now we get point A here. Okay, and third case, and if that is a incident ray passes through the optical center from parallel to principal axis, and this do not deviate actually. Yeah. And if you need a 2 point to 2 ray cut point here, we do not need a third point. If you want to draw a third point, this okay, but this doesn't need. Okay, and if to the another, if a incident ray falls on optical center, similarly, so do not deviate, and so midpoint actually here. So actually 2 ray at a meet is enough. Okay, if you draw these 2 ray or these two or any of these two, okay, so you get a head point here, A, and that is bottom B here. So that is the head of the person, that is A, and that is B. Okay, so if you see that very carefully, okay, that is the position of the image. Okay, so what is the property of image in that case? If object place at infinite, so that the first is obviously the inverted image. Okay, then image created on a screen or opposite side of the object, that is a real image. Number three, that is a highly diminished, actually highly diminished, highly diminished. Okay, so, but if you see that drawing, that is not a highly diminished, that look like a same size, but actually that is a error. Okay, that line is not a straight line. At infinity means a far behind of this. That's why these are called a highly diminished. Okay, and number four, that's another important, highly diminished, really important. What is the point? Okay, at f2. Okay, if your object placed at infinite, say create an image at f2 or c. Okay. And next, if your object placed between f2 and 2f1 means c and f1. How to draw this? Okay, that is optical center. That f1. That is f2. The similar the f1. That is a f2. In that case, object beyond to f2 or to f1. Beyond means, I think object place here. Say object place here. Some person in name is A and B. Okay, so the incident ray parallel to principal axis, parallel to principal axis. Okay, and after striking, refracted ray passes through the focus. The focus. Okay, and we need another point. Okay, if incident ray passes through the optical center, So do not deviate it actually. So that is a head point here. That is a head here. Midpoint. Today at mid is enough. Okay. So third line is a parallel to the principal axis or overlapping the principal axis. They do not deviate it. So B down here. So that is a head and leg. That is B and A. So beyond 2F1 or F2, we get the object here. Get a image. Sorry, actually get image F1 between and F2. So property number one, property number two, inverted. Number three is diminish. Okay. Number four, real. Clear. How to draw image? Okay. In follow the chart, and if you put suppose draw a number, suppose 6, draw between F and optical center, F1 and optical center. What will happen if F1 F2, that is F1 F2. So here we place the object actually. If incident ray parallel to here, A B point parallel to the principal axis actually. So refracted ray passes through the focus. So passes through the focus, and if this ray passes from optical center, you see here, and as do not intersect. I think the head point intersection is actually as a diverge. So we need a backward projection. We need the backward in that direction. We get a midpoint here, and you see that is A and B. The top is here A, the object. Okay, and if the bottom line B parallel to the incident ray parallel to the principal axis and passing through the O, they do not deviate it. These line, okay, actually these are the same, the middle line actually. So head, hand, that is a leg. So we get these type of image is a actually there is a virtual image. So we get here the virtual image. First is a virtual, because do not create a on screen. Okay, so appear to be like this here. Okay, so that's why it's a virtual image. It's not real image, and it's not inverted, not diminished, highly magnified, highly magnified. Number three, okay, and is highly magnified, placed same side behind the object. Okay, okay, that is a virtual, highly diminished. Is not a inverted, is upright. Okay, that's the basic property how to drawing it. Okay, clear. And give a homework. Please follow draw the other three. Draw these two, and that's the homework. And draw and put in and take a picture and put in comment section. Okay. And next class we discuss for there's a convex lens image for a drawing image in concave lens, and there's a difference between the what is the difference concave and convex. Okay, the image of convex and concave. So then we complete that part B chapter. Okay, and now for start in the part C. Okay, and the same rule apply for position of image. Okay, but there is some little bit different here, but if you do regularly practice, that's enough, too easy. Okay, and first remember, okay, please remember the chart. Okay, so please do not depend on your drawing ability, drawing skill actually. Okay, if that is a little bit different, so there is a huge error if you depend on your drawing skill and drawing okay. Actually, if you remember the chart, put first put object here, image here, then joining these line. Okay, I think that's a beautiful concept. Okay, so today in the class here, thank you.